No, the next game we got. Now, this one I remember fondly because I bought it and I played it and I loved it. The concept was interesting,
Yeah,
but
you were telling me about this, and I think I might have read it somewhere at some point. But this is super bizarre. So go ahead and explain
super
how you
crazy.
use a CD with a game.
The game is Monster Rancher, and the whole catch behind Monster Rancher was you took music CDs and you popped them in your PlayStation. Well, you had to load the game up, and then it would tell you to pop in a music CD, and it would rip the audio tracks from your music CD and create a monster that you then took and raised and taught it how to fight other monsters. And that was Monster Rancher. Yo, that the concept of that alone was crazy.
That's definitely crazy sounding for sure. And this what's to me what's most crazy about this was the PS1 era.
Yeah.
Like the what you're describing would to me, if somebody just explained this and asked me what system I thought it would be on, I would have started at Xbox because they had the hard drive where you would like rip music to, and that would at least make some sort of sense to me. Of course, any system after that had that capability
Mm-hmm.
too. But the fact that this was being done on PS1 between the system, probably your memory card, I'm sure, in the game, like that's nuts. It's so weird. Who thought of that? Who thought of that?
It was put out by Tecmo, and Tecmo are geniuses. So
Well, it was certainly Japanese. Nobody in America is going to come up with that. That's for sure. Wild.
it it was original and based on I guess the music CD you used. Like if you did like a heavy metal CD in there, you got a certain type of creature. If you put in like something else, like jazz, you got a different type of monster. But it was filled with a bunch of different monsters, and again, based on the music CD you put in, it would create a monster based off that.
I would love to do a video on that one day, just to sit there and like show people, like, look, I'm gonna put in a ska CD and see what kind of creature comes out of this.
We
So
should.
sick. That'd be
We should.
amazing. So Monster Rancher, you guys should check that one out. And you should also check out. I mean, this game's gotten some popularity over the past few years from a variety of different creators. So this is more well known than most people would probably think off the bat, and that is SEAMAN
We've
for
talked about Seaman once
Dreamcast.
before. Yeah, definitely.
Leonard Nimoy.
Get out.
Yeah, dude.
Was it?
That's that he does the voice for that. You didn't know that?
Maybe I did and forgot, but
Yeah,
okay.
that's his voice in the game. He's like the narrator.
You want to tell people what it's about?
So, oh god, it's like a
Something really bad. Oh no. Something really bad. 最悪のペットがさらに悪くなってアメリカから再上陸。シーマン2001年版コンビニでも。
it's like a fever dream or a nightmare. Like it's all like horrible things. It's like a fish with like a human head, and
Right.
then like you grow this human fish thing, this creature, and they're called Seaman, and you grow them in like a tank, but you get a microphone that came with the game, and you're supposed to like talk to it, and
Hmm.
the creature like listens to your voice and like I guess reacts differently. I,
Yeah, and it held. You would at some point you would hold a conversation with this human fish,
yeah.
but it learned as you. The more you talked to it and played with it, it learned. It was very bizarre. But
Somebody was
again,
on some drugs when they made that. That's for sure.
it's Sega, man. It's Sega. They're all about that creativity.
I mean, this game is definitely original for sure. Like there ain't nothing like Seaman. Nothing.
No, I mean the next game. It kind of borrows some cues from Seaman, but it's not quite Seaman. Hey You Pikachu for Nintendo 64.
I barely remember this game at all.
It like Seaman, it came with a mic, but this time you kind of played with Pikachu and you talked to Pikachu and you told him how to do certain things, he it was Pokemon, and anything Pokemon sold like crazy.
No doubt. Now, was this just for my own curiosity? Because I don't remember this. I know that there was like a limited edition N64 that had was like a Pikachu edition. Was
Mm-hmm.
this the game that came with that system, or
I
no?
want to say yes. I want to say yes. It was because it did come packed with. I think that was the blue one, the blue and yellow one.
Yeah, that was the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that I'm gonna look it up because I'm very curious. But I mean, what an odd Pokemon game.
It was different. It was real different.
Who was working at Nintendo was like, oh yeah, microphone and talk to Pikachu. Sure, yeah, go ahead. After all the other Pokemon games, they're like, oh yeah, go ahead and make this one.
Well, you figure the Tamagotchis were huge at the time.
Okay.
So this was kind of like the next evolution of the Tamagotchi.
I totally forgot that was a giant thing at that point in
Yeah.
time. So okay, this is making a lot more sense to me now than trying to look back at it and remember what the hell was happening.
Yeah. So it was a more interactive Tamagotchi for your television.
There you go, Pokemon fans. Get your Hey You Pikachu. It is not for me. Not going to be playing that one. Well, now, one I missed out on that I really regret. I think I mentioned this story once before. This game had a keyboard available to it. I think I had a chance to get it on clearance for like $5 or $10, like brand new in the box, and it's like, what? Why? I remember saying this clearly to myself. Why the hell would anybody buy this, even if it was $1? Because there's one game on the Dreamcast that this works with. And that game is Typing of the Dead. But now I really want that game and that keyboard.
Bro, I don't know why you didn't get it. Because what were your other choices? You had, if you want to learn how to type, you had Mavis Beacon typing or Typing of the Dead.
So
I'd go with Typing of the Dead.
I'm a little bit younger than you, and when I was, probably in middle school, AOL Instant Messenger was out. I legitimately learned how to type within like probably a week of that coming out. That's all I did was like I just talk to people like by texting them in a in a computer, which sounds insane now. It sounds like nuts because we have cell phones that do all that. But that's what you did back then, and that's how I learned how to type.
Yeah, so Typing of the Dead was House of the Dead
Yes.
without the light gun, but you typed the words that appeared over the zombies to shoot them.
Right, I think you had like a timer, right? Like you had to type out the word correctly in like
Correct.
so many seconds or something.
But it taught you how to type, and you were killing stuff at the same time.
I mean, way more entertaining than the ones that you mentioned. Like you said, you're gonna take Mavis Beacon, or you're gonna take Typing of the
Dead. But again, this is gonna be the third time I'm saying it. It's Sega. Sega's known for that stuff, man.
Man.
That's them. That's why I love them so much.
Now we didn't put this on the list, so I'm gonna throw you a curveball a little bit, but I can't remember. Was there a fishing game that used a rod before the Dreamcast, or was that the first time also?
Ooh, good question. No, no, because there were fishing games. Because I remember PlayStation 1 had like real fishing and stuff like that.
You're right, they did, and I think PS1 had a controller for it also.
It did. I want to say Mad Catz put out that fishing controller.
Oh god, that must have been terrible.
But it didn't handle nothing like the Dreamcast one.
No,
that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess you are right. I don't know. That just popped in my head. Something to think about. But yeah, you're right. PS1 definitely had a fishing controller for sure.
Yep. Yes, it did.
Next up, Wes has mentioned this, I think, almost every episode because I think he really loves this game deep down. Wes, what game is it?
That's Boktai, man, for Game Boy Advance.
A Kojima game, which is nuts to think about.
I mentioned Boktai before, but it definitely deserves to be on Truly Original because it forced you to go outside. It had a little sensor on the cartridge, and you had to go outside and let the sunlight absorb. You had the cartridge absorb the sunlight to power the weapon in the game.
Nothing sounds more terrible to me than playing video games outside.
Yeah, that was it, man. That was the whole catch of Boktai.
So this would have been on Game Boy. Was this Game Boy Advance, right?
It was Game Boy Advance. Yeah, it came out during the SP era.
Okay. I wonder if you needed an SP to play it because the other one didn't have a backlight. But I guess if you're standing outside in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that would help you actually see the game. So maybe that was his thought process. Like, look, you can't see the damn game, so let's just have people go outside. So no matter which Game Boy Advance they have, they can actually see the game.
Dude, that was just the game itself was actually pretty good. There was a sequel. I didn't get the sequel. I still have the original. I remember playing it and enjoyed it. It was actually a decent game. But yeah, that was the whole hook. You had to go out and play outside and get the sunlight.
I would just use like a really powerful lamp.
I don't know if it worked on that with a lamp. I don't know. But
Maybe. I don't know that. I would have to hack it somehow. I'm not going outside to play a game. So I would say I would love to try it, but unless you can hack it to play inside, I ain't playing that game ever in my lifetime. And then this next one, I don't know about. You put it on here. I kind of agree with you, but I'm trying to think of other examples and I can't. But I feel like it's not the first of its kind. But we also couldn't think of anything else. And that's Super Mario Party.
yeah. I know we had conversations about Super Mario Party. Was it original? I would say so.
I mean, it's based off a board game, so it's not original in the fact that it's like a board game. But did you ever see it? Like that was the question Wes and I were asking each other. Have we ever seen a board game in a video game before that wasn't
That's
based off of a board game?
right. That had Mario characters. That was 4 player.
Yeah, the 4 player was clutch.
And unlike your traditional board game, you played mini games when you landed on a square. They were all little mini competitions.
Infuriating. Half of them were.
So I felt that Mario Party was original, and even though we got multiple versions of it, it was still at the time when the first one came out. Even with the second one, it was original because I don't think we've seen anything like that or played anything like that up to
I
that
agree.
point.
I couldn't think of anything, so we decided to keep it on the list because of that. We talked about it. We couldn't think of another game that was like that, and it was a good game. It was fun, um, even though it did rely on luck quite a bit, and I think people broke like their thumbs and their hands and stuff from like spinning that thing around in the N64. They gave away like thumb protectors, didn't they? With that for
I
that game.
I I don't remember that, but maybe.
It was either like a glove for your hand because people would use their hand like on the
Hmm.
joystick, or it was their thumb. And I will go and I will find what it was. I'll post a picture of it in here for you guys. But that's people were hurting themselves playing that game. Competitive,
I Yeah, I mean we had different versions of Monopoly on just about every console,
right? But that's
but
based off of a board game,
it's a board game and it's
right?
it's just Monopoly. Mario Party kind of took that to a whole new level.
Now, staying on the theme of Nintendo, this was like one of the first games that blew my mind. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And this was Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. This was the first time I really remember seeing like a 3D game on a console. Of course, I've seen stuff on like computers and things like that, but not on a home console. Not You would not expect to see something like that during the 16-bit era.
True, because I really started to think like, okay, was there anything else like that prior?
PC, I'm sure. I'm sure there was plenty of stuff on PC, but not on a home console.
Not on a home console. Nope. And we got the introduction of Star Fox and his crew.
Yeah, man. Slippy, Peppa. I think it was Pepper. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Been a few years since I played a Star Fox game.
But yeah, that was like the first time Nintendo used that special graphics chip that gave it that polygonal look. Because then there was a racing game that they also used that same chip
Was
for.
that chip was the Super FX chip? Was that right?
Super FX. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. There was a few games. That was the first one. That was like the big one
That was the big one. That was the big one. Yeah, yeah. Star Fox was when it came out at the time definitely original.
for sure. Now, the most important thing to me is, like, I think Star Fox is a good game, but this paved the way for Star Fox 64, which is an excellent, excellent game. Like, Star Fox 64 is like the cream of the Star Fox crop. Like, they've had so much trouble making Star Fox games after that. I'm like, dude, just look at the 64 and make a new game like that, and you're fine. You don't have to change the formula. I don't even care about the graphics. They can look exactly like that with new levels, and I'd be totally happy, man. That game was so good on N64.
It was good. It was really good.
And it came with a Rumble Pack. We're sitting here talking about original. That was the first one that had a Rumble Pack. Granted, PlayStation had DualShock and stuff before then, but on Nintendo, it was like, oh, you get a Rumble Pack. Love Star Fox.
Man.